special meeting. It's now 6:09, and I'll call this regular board meeting to order. Establishment of a quorum, let the record reflect that myself, Erasmo Lopez, Andrew Gonzalez, and Isidoro Nieto are here. Item number 3, approval to purchase 13 school buses, RFCQ number 2016-02. Dr. Leo.
And I will call on Mr. Sanchez to give the specifics.
We got quotes for 13 buses, 10 regular school buses, 2 special ed buses, and 1 mini special ed bus. And we got quotes from 2 companies, from approved vendors to the purchasing co-ops. And the prices was shown in the agenda item. One company at Longhorn Bus Sales is $1,265,000, and the other one, Rush Bus Centers, is $1,270,000. The Transportation Department staff recommends Longhorn Bus Sales. The prices are lower. They have more experience dealing with that type of bus. There's more local dealers in the valley that can handle them. And the other company is only 1 dealership in the valley, and the service is kind of slow. Based on that, we made the recommendation to go with Longhorn Bus Sales.
What kind of buses did we buy last year?
We bought Bluebird last year, and we were having lots of issues with Bluebird. So this year, we had the mechanics and some bus drivers in the committee, and they brought in these buses from Longhorn. And the mechanics like that Cummins motor that will last forever. It's a quicker radius. It's a lot better bus. Has 3 air cons, 3 cameras, so we really like that bus better for our kids.
Do we have any other Longhorn buses in our fleet?
Yes, we do.
And what kind of issues do we have with them? Are they pretty consistent, pretty strong?
They're a lot stronger than, and that alone, and then the fact that we have more repair facilities that'll service them quicker. We have like 4 repair facilities as opposed to 1 that takes a long time. And the issues with the ones we had last year, we have a lot of issues with the mechanical issues and things like that. So we just decided to go with the international.
A lot of sensor issues. Like we said, the bus center we take it to is the only one here. It takes forever to get them back. You know, we have so many successful programs at Weslaco ISD. We need all our buses to be working at all times. So we are ordering 10 regular, 2 special ed, and a shorty, which will take our deaf and blind kids to McAllen every single day. And
How many
picks them up.
students does that fit?
It's a big bus. Right now, we had 2 students that qualify to go every day to the deaf and blind school.
Okay.
But now we're down to 1 because one of the girls is no longer necessary
So
for that.
if we're gonna use that minibus for that reason, why not buy like one of those Sprinter vans type? If we're only transporting less than 5, it's a little better ride, probably better economically. On the budget, I think those go 40,000 is what I heard from another district, and it would save us an additional 45,000 if we were to eliminate the minibus and go to something like that, if that's the purpose of the bus, just to transport those children.
Well,
If we have that bus to use for other special needs kids, then okay, then I'm okay with it. I was just thinking that if that number is correct, as far as we only have 1 in the district.
Well, that is the point, but also if in any case we need to use it for something else, it does have that lift and it does fit more students. So
Okay.
we're not going to
Special-
just
special trips.
specifically for that.
Okay.
It does
The
have that
lift.
lift.
yes.
Talk to me about the warranties. We have a 5-year limited on the Longhorn that you all want, and then there's a 5-year unlimited miles on transmission only. Is that transmission only, or?
It's, the thing is that from what we've seen in the past, even though they show a lot more warranty, they still don't cover it at the end.
How many buses have gone back of the ones we purchased last year?
The new ones, we've had more than half of them go back at least for any type of sensor issue. They're very delicate on the sensor.
And all of that is warranty.
Yes.
Yeah, should be.
And our concern
How
is
long
they
does
take
it take to get back, though?
forever.
Yes.
That's-
Forever, give
we've
me
had about
days.
A bus been over there over 30 days,
Wow.
a new bus.
Yes.
Those are 2016s, right, that we purchased? The one- those-
We didn't purchase any last year. The previous year
The
we
previous
purchased.
year before,
Yes.
okay. So they're 15 models.
Yes, sir.
Now Longhorn, where is their local facility? Is there a local facility for them?
That's.
Repair?
Delicious. International.
The international ones.
International ones is the local one.
Right.
Where are the mechanic?
Is it the one in La Feria?
La
Feria.
The one on the, off of the
Feria, that's
expressway,
right.
right at the end.
Because I know the rush is all over Texas.
Yes.
Not necessarily the bus sales, but rush truck centers. So, I mean, it's not the cost is very close. But you all feel more comfortable with the Longhorn?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The mechanics were part of the committee, the bus drivers, so we had some bus drivers part of the committee. They really inspected it, we went on a test drive, and they really feel that this would be best for our district.
Mo, when
our
I,
kids.
And our kids are real important. I mean, the safety is upmost and everything.
I think at the end of the year, luncheon that they had, I did get to speak to a couple of mechanics, a couple of the drivers, and the concerns were with this Bluebird bus just continually breaking down and then not getting them back due to the lack of turnaround time.
Where's this money coming from, Andres?
It will be from the fund balance assigned for facility needs or other needs. This money has already been deducted from the $4.5 million that I mentioned earlier.
So the 12 million for facilities is still available?
Yes, beside this.
Okay.
So how many buses does these new replace, or how many buses that we have are obsolete?
Currently, we have 87 buses. We just put out for salvage about 8 of them. It was real weird because 6 of them broke frames the same week.
Right.
You know, the frames are too expensive. We took them out to salvage.
So with these 10, will be okay for the start of the year?
Yes, sir. They'll take 90 days, about 90 to 100 days to get here.
Right.
So
Could you give us an update on our fleet of buses as far as the year, the mileage?
Yes, sir.
Just so that the board can look at what we do have out there. I'm curious to see what our oldest buses are that we still have in operation.
If I'm not
And
mistaken, they're 1999s
if
right
we
now.
need to get more, we can find some more money somewhere or do whatever we need to do to bring our fleet up to a good service. And I know, I run equipment every day. The older it gets, the more it breaks down.
And that's the goal. I know I went to meet Mr. Garcia today, and that's one of his goals, is to bring up the fleet, increase the less years of service in them as fast as possible.
Now, since we're talking buses, our mechanics, are they sent out to schools to get training? Are they just mechanics that we keep around all the time, or is most of our service on our buses going outsourced?
The goal of our shop is we have 2 certified mechanics and 2 mechanic assistants. We try to do everything in-house. If for whatever reason our mechanics are unable to do it in-house, then we take it out.
If you have 2 mechanics for 90 buses, you don't have enough mechanics. No way. So
Two
I'd
mechanics
like
to
for
assist.
somebody to look into that, to another district of comparative size and get some input. Maybe TASB can even help you with that. I mean, they know everything. So ask them, this is our fleet, what do we need? Now, those 2 mechanics are just for buses only or for all our other vehicles also?
Just the buses.
Yes.
Well, and the Suburban.
And the Suburbans.
Our Suburbans.
And I'd like to make sure that we keep them in training. New buses, there's a lot of the training that they need to get on, just to stay on the cutting edge of knowing what's going on with them, so.
We'll work with Dr. Leo to see the direction we're gonna go with, but it's a good idea to get some more mechanics in there.
Yeah, but get us that, and the facility's small too. I mean, I know that y'all haven't asked for anything out there, but we've been out there and you only have 2 bays, from what I understand, to work on buses. And also, the wash bay, there is no wash bay to take care of our buses.
And the
So-
tires.
Well, I think tires, we have to.
Well, we
go
outsource
outside.
tires to go change
We're
tires all the time,
outsourcing
right?
tires right now. We're looking at possibly ordering the tire changer and the balancer.
That's in the process already.
Yeah, okay. But get us that list on the buses. I'm
Yes,
curious
sir.
to see where we're at on
We'll
that.
provide it on Thursday's update.
And
Thank
if you could sort it or put it in chronological order,
Yes, sir.
oldest, newest. And what I mean by that is I want to see how many we have that are aged,
Okay.
over 10 years old.
Right.
Between,
The Excel specialist.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry.
so it's
Okay, so-
easier to read.
So you guys are asking us to approve the Longhorn?
That's our recommendation, sir.
I so move.
Second.
All right, Andrew, second.
Motion by Erasmo Lopez and a second by Andrew Gonzalez to approve as recommended by administration. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please vote so by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carries. Next item, approval of budget amendment to purchase these 13 buses. Dr. Leo?
Yes, and now if you would approve our spending the money for those buses, we need this action, the formal action of completing a budget amendment. Mr. Sanchez.
Yeah, the budget amendment is $1,275,000. The money will be obtained from the fund balance assigned for facilities or other needs in the general fund.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Erasmo Lopez and a second by Andrew Gonzalez to approve as recommended by administration. Any further discussion?
We're having to transfer these funds due to the fact that we need new buses for our children. And their safety is the most important thing that we have here. So that's why we're doing this.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please vote so by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Item number 5, discussion and possible action for the board to amend the district's employee benefit pharmacy copay structure. Dr. Leo.
And Mr. De La Rosa has already made some reference to this item, but for additional details, Mr. De La Rosa?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Leal. One of the things that in researching our current health benefit structure, one of the things that kind of stood out to us is we have currently a two-tier benefit RX copay structure, which is basically a generic and a brand. Every other district in the area, in the region, and pretty much every other private health insurance plan has a three-tier system, which is a generic, a preferred brand, and a non-preferred brand. So in order to kind of keep in line with what other districts are doing and make it fair for both the district and the employee, we recommend that we move to this three-tier plan.
What is this doing to just some persons just wanting to get medicine? Doesn't care. I don't care about a brand. Just get me better.
The generic copay on the 30-day supply is not changing, and neither is the copay for the 30-day brand, preferred brand.
What is changing?
The only change is we're adding a non-formulary increase, which would be $50. And of course, on the 90-day structure, it used to be free or no copay and then a $75 copay. It would be going from a $20 generic copay to a $60 preferred and a $100 non-preferred.
Can you give an example of non-preferred?
Non-preferred would be your non-formulary or your newer, more expensive drugs that have not been on the market very long. Your preferred brand names would be your brand. There's still a brand name drugs like Prilosec that have been on the market for quite some time, and they are proven, to be consistent what they're being prescribed for, so they're effective.
Have you studied on how this is going to affect our employees?
As far as how it's going to affect them is basically a brand versus so if somebody's taking a really high dollar non-formulary drug, they will see a $20 increase in their copay. But as far as the specific number of employees and who's taking drugs, that fluctuates every month, so we really couldn't give you a detailed analysis.
Will they be able to get their medicine at the generic rate, or are they stuck? Is there possibilities of being stuck with the high dollar medicine?
If they're currently on generics now, they're going to be on generics. So certainly if somebody's currently taking a non-formulary or a higher brand name drug cost, there are alternatives available, either a different brand name.
Okay. How many employees would this affect? I mean, how many employees do we have taking non-formulary
That's
medications?
not very many. If you look at the attachment, Roger, if you want to jump in here, I know you.
It's approximately about 13% or less, Mr. Lopez, which really accounts to about a handful of employees. The biggest effect is going to be the doctors in the Mid-Valley tend to write scripts that are non-formulary, and sometimes they get tripped up at the pharmacy and it's automatically reverted back to brand. But in this case, you have a lot of employees that just choose to take the non-formulary because there's no difference in the copays. So what happens is you have a prescription drug that treats hypertension, for example, Benicar, has been out in the market less than 10 years, that's costing the district $150 to dispense. Now you have a new one coming out that's gonna cost the district $500 to dispense. That's what we refer to as non-preferred. So in case that a patient just wants to switch medications because it's not gonna cost him anything, now he'll have to pay $20 more copay. And it's not going to affect a lot of the employees. It really isn't. What it's gonna do is re-educate the physicians that are dispensing these drugs, because every time there's a wave of pharmaceutical reps that go through the valley, all of a sudden you see a spike in the non-formulary scripts. So we're just trying to contain that. But we don't believe that it's fair to the employees that take generic drugs, that take the low-cost brand name drugs, to be supplementing the cost for employees that choose just to take the most expensive drug.
Do our employees pay $150 for Benicar?
Sir?
Do our employees pay $150
No.
for Benicar?
We do. Actually, that's the wholesale ingredient cost. Once they pay the $30, the district's net cost is $120.
That's great, because I know people that pay $250 for a 30-day supply.
But the Benicar, for example, there's an 18% increase coming across the board for Benicar on the ingredient costs. So if you're taking a 40-12, you're going to see the cost actually go up to $184. We'll still pay or incur the $184 minus the $30 copay. But if the doctor dispenses, say, Norvash, then the employee's gonna have to pay the difference of the $20, because it'll cost us almost $400 to dispense that drug.
When will this take effect?
September 1st.
Okay, so you will inform everybody of what's going on, what's happening?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and the reason I ask, I believe a couple of months back, we had a meeting about having a newsletter about what's going on with our insurance, and I don't think anything's come out yet.
No, we're still compiling that because there are some other changes that we're going to need to make that we'll bring in July. Once all of that is complete, and
You know,
I said,
and I'd like a newsletter with phone numbers of where they can call and people to talk to, if they've got complaints or if they've got concerns, and if medication's not getting approved, and, you know, at least have a number where they can call, talk to a person and explain to them why not, or what they can get, or how they can get it. I've been getting some feedback from our employees that there's some people are getting rejected. I've addressed it with Mike, and he's told me they need to call the pharmacy and move forward, and they'll help them out. However, if you all would put it together, and Roger, you can help Mike with this, get a newsletter out, just a fact sheet, and I think that's what we just discussed last time, and I want y'all to do it pretty quick.
we'll send out a draft. I already have it, Mr. Lopez. We'll send out a draft to the board in the update.
Especially, we're gonna change this now there's something else to add to it, but I want some phone numbers there where they can call and talk to people.
Absolutely.
Mike, going to this third, currently our employees pay $75 for brand in the two-tier system
That is on the 90-day.
on the day,
Yes, sir.
90-day? And on the same 90-day, going to a three-tier, they save $15?
If
Is that
they're
correct?
on the, taking the preferred
Does
brand.
brand mean the same thing as preferred brand over here? I'm looking at my sheet, so.
Yes, because currently we only have generic and brand. We don't differentiate between.
Okay, so those that are taking the 90-day at 75 for brand would save $15?
That's correct.
Okay. See, well, that's good too. But I agree with Mo. Put it on the website, get it done, please.
Yeah, one of the things is make sure that we distribute this formulary plan. We need to make sure that everybody understands before they go to the doctor what's covered and what's not.
And thank you so much, Mr. Fuente, for bringing that up. There's actually a list of the non-brand name or non-preferred drugs. There's maybe about 50 of them on that list that we'll actually publish. So if an employee's already taken that, it's got the list of the non-preferred and then the equivalent on the preferred. So they can actually go to a doctor and say, I'm taking Norvax, can I take Bevacor now? And the doctor can approve it and then just change
Based
the
on a
script.
list that we can provide them?
Yeah.
Yes. It's gonna be predetermined in advance, so it'll be posted, we can post it on the website, we can send it to the employees. In fact, I believe even the PBM has indicated that they'll notify the employees that are taking non-preferred 90 days in advance to notify them that they're available for other types of drugs equal to or better than what they
I
currently
think
have.
we can just educate our employees, Mike.
Yes, sir.
This goes a long way, because I know most offices do require their patients to take all their pills that they're taking, because they do have various doctors for different illnesses. That way, if they already have a form, they can do what Roger says, give them the other
Yes.
medication.
We're not getting a discount on this.
No.
We're transferring costs from one place to another. And if it's from the district to the employee, but the employee has a voice and they have a choice in this, we just need to make sure that they understand
Yeah.
that their decision needs to be made based off of the information we're giving them, is what I'm saying.
And that's correct.
That's correct.
And then a lot of it also has to do with the patient and their doctor, talking about,
Exactly. So educate them as best we can in the district website under risk management. Have the formulary as a link so that if I'm at the doctor, I can click on it and I can show my doctor, look, here's my list of
Whatever.
prescriptions. Just make it as easy as possible. You guys are going to go through open enrollment mid-August. Make sure that you explain that as part of the presentation, that there's a formulary, have handouts, let them know where it's at. Do your part to just make sure you educate them so that they can save themselves the heartache of having to pay that extra money if they have an alternative way of getting the prescriptions they need.
But we also want to encourage employees to realize, for example, if I take Nexium, just like half the population, the Nexium on a script for 20 milligrams or 40 milligrams costs the district $140 for a 30-day supply. But you can go to the over-the-counter and buy the same prescription over-the-counter on a 30-day supply for $28. So we're encouraging employees that, in fact, that's one of the suggestions we're going to bring back in July, is that we change the benefit to where we pay for the over-the-counter drugs without the script that the doctors are dispensing. Let's save the district a lot of money.
This insurance is becoming, or has been, tricky. And I know it's not your doing is to take care of our people. So Mike and Roger, I expect you guys to stay up on it. I went from one pill to two pills because the one pill is what do you call it? When it's a specialty brand?
Not non-preferred.
Non-preferred. Either I was gonna pay a lot of money or I would take two pills. So here we go, two pills, and it happened again and again and again. And before I remember insurance and pharmacies would help you. They would say, would you like the generic brand? And now they don't. Now they say you can't have it. Well, what do you mean I can't have it? And that's what's going on. It's so we need to give as much, and that, Mike, I want a newsletter out of you at least every 30, 45 days that reminds people of this, that, ask for this, you can have this, you can't have that, the do's and don'ts, the phone numbers, and because our employees are I'm disgusted with my insurance, and I pay for it, out of my pocket, and I'm sure our employees are upset at times also. And Andrew here is an insurance salesman. He's saying that some of the numbers that our employees are getting are good, and they are good. They are good. But yet, we just need to keep them informed of what's going on and any changes that are coming up.
they're actually very, very good
Yeah,
compared
Mike,
to.
and I think, Mike, what you've heard from us here is just to educate, although I know we're gonna save roughly 70,000 on
That's
the year,
correct.
which is a lot, but educate them so that
Yeah.
they don't take that unnecessary hit when they can get the other pill.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mike? Roger? Okay, if not, then I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Andrew Gonzalez, second by Mr. Nieto to approve as recommended by administration. Any further discussion?
Newsletter.
Working on it.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please vote so by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Item 6, closed meeting to discuss, 1, personnel matters, Texas Government Code 551.074, A, employment of personnel, new hires, B, resignation, C, deliberation regarding the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal, or proposed termination of a district employee. Number 1, interim superintendent's recommendation for the position of Director of Instructional Television. It's now 6:34, and we are now in executive session. We will reconvene an open meeting. Item number 1, personnel matters. Texas Government Code 551.074, letter A, employment of personnel, new hires. Dr. Leo.
Members of the board, we recommend that you approve new hires as presented to you in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Andrew Gonzalez, second by Mr. Nieto. Do we have any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please vote so by saying aye.
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 Pose same sign. Motion carries. Letter B, resignations.
Members of the board, we ask that you approve those resignations presented to you in executive session and approve.
So moved.
Motion by Andrew Gonzalez,
Second.
second by Mr. Nieto. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please vote so by saying aye.
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 Pose same sign. Motion carries. Letter C, deliberation regarding the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal or proposed termination of a district employee. Number 1, interim superintendent's recommendation for the position of Director of Instructional Television. Dr. Leo.
I defer to Mr. Nieto.
I move to approve the interim superintendent's recommendation for the position of Director of Instructional Television as discussed in closed session.
Do we need a name?
No, you don't need to name them.
Thank you.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Nieto and a second by Andrew Gonzalez. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please vote so by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Section 8, adjournment.
So moved.
It is now 7:17, and this meeting is now adjourned.